He looked up at me, lips cracked, hands trembling. "Water," he rasped. The chain on his ankle clattered as he moved, metal scraping metal in a way that seared into my memory. Then she appeared, my wife. She stood over him, holding a bottle of water like it was salvation, then tipped it over. Slowly. On purpose. The water spilled onto the dirt and disappeared, like it couldn't wait to leave. Then she smiled and turned the hose on him, freezing, direct, cruel. Like he wasn't a child. Like he was beneath even pity. And I didn't stop her. I just stood there, hidden in the doorway, and watched. That was the moment something in me withered. And something darker began to stir. 3 years earlier, I walked away from a steady job and a life of calm. She told me she missed her mother. Said she wanted our son to grow up around family. I believed her. God help me, I loved her. We moved into the property her mother owned. 2 small homes with a shared yard. I poured money into it. Renovated. Fixed the fences. Installed air conditioning. When her mother's creditors came knocking, I paid them off. I believed I was making a home. I didn't see I was digging my own grave. It didn't unravel all at once. At first, my son just seemed tired, quieter. He said his mother was angry again. My wife started avoiding our bed, blaming stress. Food began to vanish from the fridge. My tools disappeared from the shed. One day, I found my boy behind the garage, crouched down, eating crackers. He told me Grandma said dinner wasn't for lazy animals. I wanted to believe it was all just a misunderstanding. But I was the fool in a twisted play, blind to the audience's laughter. The illusion finally cracked one Thursday. I came home early and heard laughter, hers and a man's voice. When I walked in, she looked caught. Said it was her cousin. That I was imagining things. That night, I found her phone hidden behind the bathroom vent. Pages of messages, pictures, plans, laughter. She called me the tenant. Referred to our son as the baggage. They joked about the house, the money, the life insurance. I didn't confront her. I didn't yell. I smiled. Pretended nothing had changed. But I began collecting everything. Bought a second phone, mirrored her data, placed cameras, saved voice recordings and screenshots, tracked money, caught the fake mortgage in my name with her mother's forged signature. Every betrayal I documented. I hired a lawyer quietly. Moved our savings to a trust in my son's name. Opened a new account, liquidated what I could. Took unpaid leave, told them I'd been laid off. Let them celebrate. Let them think I was defeated. When I found out what they were doing to my son, locking him outside, withholding food, calling him slurs, I still waited. I needed proof they couldn't deny. The last piece. That day, I came home without warning. Parked away from the house. Entered through the side gate. And there he was. My little boy, curled beside a doghouse. A padlock chain around his ankle. Clothes soaked, body shaking, whispering for help. My wife, laughing. And I finally stopped pretending. I recorded every moment. Then I stepped forward from the shadows and said just one word. Enough. 2 days later, Child Protective Services removed my son from their care. I had filed the complaint months ago, complete with undeniable evidence. They were just waiting for confirmation, a final nudge. My wife screamed. Her mother crumpled to the floor. The agents didn't even blink. They walked my son straight into the arms of his new guardian, me. I'd already proved they weren't fit. I was ready. Then came the police. Charges were airtight: fraud, identity theft, child endangerment. Each one lined up, waiting for its turn. When they put the cuffs on her, she looked at me with wild, stunned eyes. I said nothing. She wasn't in shock because I turned on her. She was shocked because she never thought I could win. In court, I barely had to speak. The video told the story. My lawyer slid a thick folder across the table to the judge, packed with evidence, bank records, images, recordings, witness statements. Even her lover confessed when he found out she'd drained his accounts. 2. The judge granted me custody. The house became mine. Her mother's property was sold off to cover the debts. A portion of it I'd already bought, quietly, through a company she'll never trace. Let them try. Now, I wake to the sound of my son laughing. He sleeps soundly through the night. He eats like he's making up for all the time lost. Sometimes he asks if she'll ever come back. I tell him no. Monsters don't return. They stay buried. I don't hate her anymore. Hatred would mean she still lives somewhere in me. But I'll never forget the rattle of that chain, or the way she grinned as she turned on the hose. Some betrayals are louder than gunfire. Some forms of justice fall quieter than applause. Mine was both. And that's all I ever needed. She whispered her cruelty. I answered with silence. And took everything.